join at some point. Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to the show tonight. Hopefully we have our two guest hosts come join us very quickly, but we got a dope show for you guys tonight. We're continuing the topic we had not this past week, but a couple weeks back. We're gonna do a part 2 of, I forget the title of the goddamn show. What the
Oh, I got it. No worries.
I'm used to being at the bottom. Willie, it's okay. It's one of those days. I'm off until. But how does past abuse affect your sex life? Part 2. But we're actually going to continue with the sex life and then beyond that, just actual life. So that's the conversation. I mean, me and the ladies, after we got done, we started to continue the conversation in the after the after show. Not really after show, but like the after show once we closed out and we kind of got into some stuff. So I figured let's bring it to a part 2, plus we can expound on that. And for those who missed the first one, can definitely chime in the comment section and have the conversation. We can kind of dip back to some of the stuff that we talked to previously to address your concerns or your comments related to that. So if you missed the first show, you definitely got this one coming to you. So before I get all into that, I want to shout out to all basically go down the show rundown of what we all do here. So Mondays, it's the whole entire GFT radio crew. We all get together at 10 p.m. and talk about various topics throughout the week. So if you want to catch the whole gang, Mondays at 10 p.m. Tuesdays is Hype with the How to Hustle podcast, which he likes to affectionately call it the podcast drive-through for a half-hour show of Hype and him interviewing a guest and talking about a topic. So definitely check him out. He's live on our YouTube channel, 2 p.m. As well. On Wednesdays, when Willie and Chevy get together, they do the Will Styles Chevy recap. So they do recap on different shows or whatever show that they're watching throughout that period of time, or they also do movies. They do movie reviews as well. So if you're a movie head and like the Marvel comics and whatever comics or whatever show they're talking about, or movie, you can catch that. I think everybody chimes in on that show. Everybody, we're all watching that show because we're all like,
exactly.
We be all into it.
That's one of our more popular in-house shows for sure.
Yeah, because like everybody's on that. Fridays, you guys catch me 2 Fridays a month with Sex with Sunny, and on Sundays you catch the fellas with the fans' perspective where they talk about sports. So if you're a sports fanatic, they talk everything and all things sports related. So check them out on Sundays. I believe they're at 10 p.m., right?
10 p.m. Yep.
10 p.m. Yeah, and mine's is at 6 p.m. and then Willie's and numbers are at 9, and then Hype is at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. So definitely check that out. If you see, I don't know if you can see because I'm probably blinded and I'm too bright. But I think, why am I bright and I don't even have any lights on? This is why I don't.
It's that reflection from that. I know. Yeah, it's the reflection from the shirt itself. So you shine bright like Sunny does and get a hoodie.
Yeah, I got a GFT Radio hoodie on. I also have, which you can see the logo on it, the GFT Radio pint glass. I got I
got my mask, which we may not be needing very soon. I think next week is the last week that we'll be needing masks in most of the country.
I'm hoping that we start wearing masks. I'm sick of it. And then on top of that, it's not really, from what I'm hearing, it's only good for 4 hours. Yeah, I'm at work at 8 hours, so I don't really know. And then I don't like going to the bathroom with it on, but we got to have it. Like, it's just.
Yeah. They're making it too complicated.
Yeah, it's making it too complicated. So, like, yeah, I'm definitely about the mask, man, to stay away from me, give me 6 feet and don't breathe on me. And we're good.
Right.
But definitely that. But get the glasses, go to our GFT Radio _creator.spring.com and catch. Did I say it right? Yeah, GFT Radio.
GFT Radio creator
I created that hyphen spring. Well, I was right. I'm surprised because I don't remember anything. But yeah, go there and get some stuff. We got mad stuff there. Got for hoodies. It's about to hopefully this weather is still cold, so if you need hoodies, we got it there. We got long sleeves, we got short sleeves, we got pillows, we got it, we got every fucking thing. So you just go there and get it. And you got, if you don't want to wear the face mask, we got the face cover, like the thingy that's like it's like a cross between a neck cover and all that. So it's cold outside. You can wear that too. I see a lot of guys wearing that. So get that too. But Naya already texted me she's on her way. It's my sissy poo, so she's on her way. I'm not sure where Tay is, but I'm gonna start the conversation. So last show we were talking about how our experiences and how we know people's experiences have been after being traumatized by a sexual assault, a rape, or some type of touching or something like that.
Yeah, molestation.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and we were talking. I think we got towards the end of the show was on some people identifying that that's what happened to them. A lot of people fail to understand or identify themselves as victims, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you have people that are groomed. We talked about that, where the person is grooming you to think that it's okay. That happens more so when you're a child and the person is a couple years older than you, even though they're the legal age, you're not, but you think that it's okay. Or also in the grooming stage, they can just groom you to think that it's normal. Like that's all you know. So you kind of get to the idea that you think that that's normal behavior or it's something that's supposed to happen.
And actually don't even don't get confused. The people can groom you even when you're an adult because maybe you're either inexperienced.
R. Kelly did a lot of that.
Yeah, exactly. Either being inexperienced in relationships, being and either being in certain situations like work environments, a superior, maybe somebody that's like a teacher or something, or some kind of person that has some kind of authority over you. Police, do that. I have been found to be doing things like that as well, where they you basically get groomed because you're in these situations with them, and they, like you said, it's basically making you feel like it's either normal or it's something you can't fight against, something that you don't have any power against. You feel powerless. A lot of people who are involved in some type of things like drug addiction or maybe gambling or things like that, where they're stuck in a situation where a person is manipulating them because they feel like they have no choice.
Exactly. And then talking about identifying what was it? Jesus, I'm trying to think of the actual what was it? What I was saying. We were talking about what was it? Just went in my brain and went out. Jesus, I had it and it's gonna come back to me at some point. Oh, identifying that like shit, it just went back out my brain again. Okay, I'm gonna come back to it. It's gonna come back to me. I know it is during the conversation because it's gonna pop back up.
Are you talking about the situation of identifying how the abuse is affecting your like day-to-day activities or the way you
No, it wasn't that. I can't even get the thought process, but I know it wasn't that. It was something in line with the being groomed.
Oh, okay. We will come back to it. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, but we'll definitely come back to it. But acknowledging a victimhood is a hard pill because some people don't want to see themselves as being a victim or not understanding not really understanding the change or what happened that they don't know. Like with the guys per se, they are them like we said on the show about how their dad will get somebody older to come break their virginity, and I'm not understanding that in itself is being a victim because you were preyed upon. You had no authority to say yes or no. This is just expected. It's normalized of the men dealing with the older women to lose their virginity and stuff like that. So those types of things. So it's that part of understanding that you are a victim and knowing that you need help to heal from that and accepting that you're not really a victim, but you could be you're basically a survivor because you survived it, but it's that traumatic experience of understanding where you were and not really fully having the concept to grasp that's what it was at the time.
Right.
Because a lot of people have experienced that and didn't know what it was, didn't think it was rape. Date rape is a big thing too. I think that's one of the biggest things too, because you're seeing that you went out with this person willingly. They didn't force you. They didn't make you feel any type of way. You just said no, and because of those things. So identifying that type of stuff can be things. And so like I believe it was Tay that said that. I thought she always asks, "This what you want," like or like get confirmation that this person wants to do this. And that's why I know a lot of people that don't like to. I know a lot of guys that don't drink because they don't want to be in a situation where they were too drunk. Somebody didn't really give them yes, and then it's a situation. Right. So I think that's the thing of even that, having conversation with our boys or our girls to explain these types of situations and how it's the gray area. So you want to make sure that that person doesn't bring that back on you, because it may be a miscommunication, but it's detrimental to your livelihood because it's considered rape because that person never really gave you consent. So it's one of those things. And I know a lot of guys hate that, but that's a thin line of getting consent, because, or you get like we posted in the group about women not wanting to have sex and guys not wanting to have sex, but they felt obligated to do that.
Right.
It's that gray area that you want to steer clear of. So it's just one of those things that just is a touchy place. But towards, I think we ended out the show, we were talking about just going to doctor's appointments, certain type of, like we were talking about triggers and stuff like that, or some people can't handle, like the female can't handle the GYN exam. It's just not
right.
It can potentially trigger something with them. Why is she just still texting me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was probably not.
She's
running 15 minutes late.
Yeah, she's still texting me about it. Just get, like, at this point, stop texting me. You show up when you show up. But that part can be triggering for some people because it's some people aren't comfortable with that. From my personal experience, I'm actually okay with it. Thankfully, I never had a bad experience with that. So, but I know a lot of females that do have that experience where that is something that's very hard for them to deal with. It's very traumatic for them. And that just goes to show that beyond your sex life, it's affecting your everyday life. This is a normal thing you have to get done as a female, but that's traumatic to you because it could potentially bring back memories and things like that that'll remind you to your person where you can't deal with those types of things. Like I said, even on that show, it's not like, for me, it's mostly sexual. I have not yet experienced something that was non-sexual that triggered me.
Okay.
So, so far, knock on wood, I don't want that to happen to me, but it's a very real possibility. And I don't think people understand, like we said on the show before, how it's a constant battle. You just never know what, if anything, something small can trigger you.
Yeah, I was just reading this article about this young lady who in her youth was raped repeatedly, and she was basically, and she was kind of like working through her truth and her issues from it. And she was doing these different lectures and tours talking about it. So the part of the issues she was having, one of her tics, was that walking into a building, sometimes she would take her shoes off, and because walking around when she was younger, she was forced to walk around without shoes. So she got used to walking around without shoes, and it was like, part of the abuse of being forced to do that. And then now she gets uncomfortable walking on hard floors with shoes on. So something as simple as that. Something like there was something else that she had. That was interesting. tragic but interesting because it was like these little small things, Oh, one of the things she was refused, or she couldn't eat when she wanted, So whenever she goes someplace where there's free food or a buffet or something like that, she doesn't know how to stop herself from eating,
because that was a part of her abuse, right?
That was part of her abuse, was being starved, or even if not starved, just not knowing, what what when the next time she'll be able to eat will be, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tia said that the smell, a smell and dirty nails trigger her. So
yeah, I think for me, because I'm processing and thinking about this, I think for me, it was in the past couple of weeks, I could have potentially bumped into this person, the person that did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was more afraid of that than anything because I had not seen that person since.
Right.
So that very well may have been my trigger if I had saw them non-sexually, but like just saw them. I probably would have went on like a whole different spiral. But even to the point leading up to where I could potentially see them in these moments in the last couple of weeks, it was scary to me because I was like, well, what? Like, where it would have happened, it wouldn't have been appropriate, but I would probably had no control over it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that even that that happens in all types of abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse, all types of abuse can leave you with a trigger of either seeing that person, seeing something about that person that reminds you, maybe seeing someone that's got a similar frame, similar facial structures, similar like Tia was just saying, similar smells. The smell thing is a huge one for a lot of people, especially when you have the type of abuse, when it's some kind of physical abuse or sexual abuse that causes you to retreat inside. But everything else, because like maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you do something to drown out the sounds. Most of the time you're still smelling things that are happening around you, you're still hearing things, so certain sounds, certain smells will trigger those panic attacks or trigger your inability to move. Some people get paralysis behind smells that trigger them of memories of abuse and things like that in the past.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I was so nervous, like literally, like leading up to the situation, to the occasion that I would have saw this person. I was so nervous, and I was like, if they were there, I didn't see them.
Right.
And that was so good because, like, my fear was how would I react? And at the time in the situation, it would have been so completely inappropriate, but uncontrollable.
Right.
So that was part of my issue for me. But like for me, it was subtle triggers. Like I said, the laying on me with the chest hair, it just was threw me for a loop. It took and it's funny because after that, I really didn't date people that had chest hair.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was odd. Or if they did, I asked them to keep their shirt on.
Gotcha.
And then to the one time, it was the guy that I was dating that had laid, the way he went to lay on top of me. It was like I said, I went into a hysterical shutdown mode because I couldn't deal with that. That was way too much for me. And even though it was so long ago, it was new, like freshly in my mind. Whereas now I might not be as triggered, but I think that's a part of the healing process. You have to get to the part where you and it's crazy enough, I didn't go to therapy for it, which I probably should have. I probably still need to go. But because I think about, oddly enough, I think about a lot of different things, even to how I handle my daughter in certain situations, who she can be around, things like that, because it's like that protection mode of trying to make sure this doesn't happen to them type of situation. And I think I get in my head about a lot of the stuff because I'm like worried about it,
Yeah.
And that's an issue for me because I'm like, I don't know what I would do if I saw him out in public because it could have happened. We live in the same town as far as I know. Like I could have
Mhm.
saw you on multiple occasions. I don't. Thankfully, I'm going to say God did it, that I have not seen him since.
Mm, gotcha.
Even that initial confrontation after the fact was very traumatizing. Because it was like, you already did this, and then you're going to come confront me. It was too much in one night.
So how do you cope with the day-to-day opportunities, or is it just different, just situations and events that make you feel like you may run into that person?
Is to be very transparent, is family functions.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
If it's bigger than my immediate, I'm more concerned with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a potential, like, baby showers, potential weddings, birthday parties, funerals, stuff like that, and it's a possibility that this person can show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, that's the anxiety of it going into it. Like, do I want to go? And that's probably why for the initial part, I wasn't really at family functions.
Mm-hmm.
And not knowing if this person would attend, but just the thought that they could, it was my way to avoid it.
Right.
Because I didn't want.
So in terms of the relationship situations, or even maybe things that you what I'm trying to say is like things that you think through when you're about to go into a relationship, or maybe just even trying to date. Are there fears or anxieties that you have pre-dating or while you're getting to know someone, um, in anticipation of these kind of triggers, or some kind of trigger coming up?
No, oddly enough, like I'm really, it's that point of, because like for me as a person, I become comfortable with my sexuality and like me being in that mind state, and it took a while for me to want to be looked at in that aspect, even though growing up I looked a certain way, and as I got older, kind of got more into that look. So like for me, it took a while for me to be comfortable dressing girly. I don't think I started, even when I was going out to the clubs early with my friends, they would have to talk me into wearing a dress.
Okay.
And wearing shoes. Then I finally fell in love with shoes, and then that was a thing. And then, like, it wasn't until, I want to say, even after I had my daughter, I didn't like wearing, like, I wore dresses, but not as much. It wasn't until probably my daughter was probably 4 or going into 5 where I actually started feeling comfortable with wearing dresses and not
Okay.
feeling like something could happen to me because I was wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's when I started
So
going
so the same things that they use to victim blame you,
out.
you've taken those in as anxieties on yourself.
Yeah, so I felt uncomfortable because I didn't want the unwanted attention, right?
Right,
So
right,
eventually I
gotcha.
got into I'm like, getting to that late teenage years, you start feeling yourself, right? I had a daughter back then. I thought I was grown. So, eventually I got to the point where I was, like I said, my friends were able to talk me into wearing dresses to where I actually started going out and buying them myself. Like now,
Gotcha.
all summer long, I'm in dresses. And, the girls are out because, hey, they're here. They want to say hi to everybody. But like, it took a while for me to get to that point. Hey, Smooth. But it took a while. It took years for me to get to that point to where I was comfortable enough to wear a dress and be like, yeah, I look like, and my goal was to come out looking like, I walk past somebody like, oh, she look good in that dress. I want to tear her ass. Like, and I was comfortable with that. I didn't really like compliments. I still don't know how to take compliments to this day. It feels odd to me. And even at the same token, in my mind, it's like this psychology thing I battle with myself with. I like being looked at like beautiful, but I feel uncomfortable when you compliment me. And then when you're coming at me with too much over sexualized stuff, I shut down, because then I feel like I'm just here for a purpose, because in that moment I felt used, like I was just something to use. So when guys come at me, and it's odd enough because you're talking to somebody that has a show called Sex with Sunny. I like talking about sex, but if that's how you keep coming at me consistently and not really wanting to hang out with me or not wanting to do stuff with me, and every time you talk to me, you're talking about having any type of sex, then I feel like I'm just an object. It brings me psychologically to that point where let me shut down because that's all you want from me. That's all I'm good for. So it's odd. It's like a catch-22 with me. Like I want you to want me enough that I feel wanted, but not to the point where I feel like that I'm just an object that you want to use because you really don't want to do, like you did all the stuff, take me out, you did this here and there, but that's all you wanted.
Right.
And now that you got it, that's all you want. Like there's no let's go out and hang out and do shit. You're just like, let's go to my house, let's go to your house. There's no more of let's go do fun shit. It's just we're sitting in the house and we're gonna drink and you're gonna hump me. And then that's the same shit we're doing. Like that's the issue for me because I can talk all day to people. And even like that, I grow connections by conversation and just hanging out. And this, I could come over your house and talk to you, but then the end all, I feel obligated to have sex with you because I'm here. Because I feel like I'm wasting your time.
Right.
Because you make me feel like I'm just something to use.
Mm-hmm.
And
does the feeling of obligation change your feelings about that person? Whereas, does it make you less likely to reach out to them again?
Yeah, because and not even sometimes, because if I like you, because after a certain point, I've invested myself into really liking you and getting to know you, even though you've had me stagnant of this is all we're doing. Right. It looks fine because you come hang out with me, and then I feel like I'm wasting your time if I come there and not and not do anything. Like I've wasted your time. You could have been with somebody else.
Right.
Like that's my mindset. So that's why I said even oddly enough, during my cleansing period of this time that I've been just not dealing with nobody or not sleeping with anybody like that, whatever, I feel better because I don't feel like I'm being used.
Right.
So now to get me currently to talk to you consistently, you have to make me feel like that's not all you want. But then in my mind, once you get it, that's all you're going to want. Like you've done that, got what you wanted, and that's all we're doing from that point on. And then I have to either shut it down. And then that's like, it's either another body or I'm just, and I got to start from scratch again. It's very, and it's odd enough because that's the mindset I be in. And I don't think people understand that because I have a habit of telling, like somebody hit me up. And that's why I crack up when guys hit me up in my DM. And my friend's like, why don't you just ignore them? I don't, because I'm going to be real direct. Like for the last couple months, I've been not being bothered with nobody, not being bothered to the point of, I don't even want to text you because I don't want you to text me because I'm not about to text you good morning. I'm not going to feel obligated to do any of those things. We ain't got to, we're not fucking. There's no obligation for me to talk to you whatsoever.
Right.
Like, you don't need to talk to me how my day was. That's what you want. Like, that's what you're not going to get. That's why I posted a while back that single and not, I forget what I posted. It was something that I said single and not looking or something like that because I meant it because I need you to understand that because the first thing I said, oh, well, you single, but you got needs. I do. But my needs, me having a need to fulfill something sexually does not outweigh protecting me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I have to protect me because I'm going to go into a state of depression because it makes me feel like that's what I was used for. Because in that situation, I was around all the time and this person took advantage of the situation and did what they did. And at that point, I was a throwaway object. Not even that I was a throwaway, not like it wasn't that type of situation, but like I just felt like you used me and you discarded me. I had a conversation with one of my peoples, and I was like the gall of, like I told you guys, the gall of after it happened, he was like, oh, you want something from 7-Eleven? Like it was just like that's the feeling I get when that's all you want from me.
That's that normalization, that's them trying to make it feel normal, like it's just something that happens, something that's a day-to-day thing, not something that you should be upset about or terrorized about.
Yeah, and that's why I said I ate, but for everything, it takes me back there. So it felt like I was used, and he just like, oh, let me go to the store and get something to snack, and then like it was weird. Like it was that weird, whatever feeling I was feeling. That's it. It brings me back to that. So like I'm just like, let me chill, and that's the thing. And like I think a lot of guys get thrown off by that because I can talk about it, but like that doesn't mean that's all I want to do. Because that's what I want to do. Oh, I'll tell you that. So there's no me feeling used. It's like, hey, you want a buddy? I want a buddy. I've already said to people, I can't do the buddy system because I've been there, fell in love and been on some stupid shit. And you be like, "Ah, we just fucking." I'm like, I love you. And it's not going to work out. So for me, maybe in my younger years, that was a way for me. But even back then, I was always in a relationship. So I'm not, like I said, I tried being a hoe. It doesn't work out for me. Like, I mean, I've had some whole moments, but like on a consistent, but no, I can't do that. Like, I'm just, I know what I want, and that's not like I want somebody to actually not make me feel like I'm just something to use or do for the spare time because they're bored. I want somebody that's in it for the whole experience, like I would be. So for me, it's like that's why I shut down. And it was funny because I had a conversation with one of my kids' father, and it was like, "Well, why do you talk about it so freely?" And I do, but I'm selective of who I do certain things with. It's the comfortability level of what I would do with a person and what, like, it's stuff that I've done with people that I've never done with any of them. And it's like, well, you never did it with me because we're not that comfortability level. We didn't get to that point. It was what it was. We were talking, shit happened. That's what we were doing. Yeah, we talked about life, the birds and the bees and shit like that. You didn't take me nowhere. You took me on a date. You took me and that's the reality situation. It's a lot of people that I've dated that I've never went on a date with. We've never done anything besides what it was. Like, we never went anywhere. We never hung out outside of that. Probably, well, after we stopped dating, we could get to that point of hanging out, but not to the point where it was, let's go out to dinner, let's go do this, that, and the third. I mean, not to say my dating path is not that horrible, because I had people that I dated that we went out and had good times and did stuff with, and I didn't feel obligated to. But I feel like the last couple people that I've dated, I did a lot of things out of obligation because I felt like I was wasting their time if I didn't.
No, I feel you.
I may have wanted it, but
I mean, it's that preparation, right? Feeling like you're prepared for either dating or getting into a relationship, or the trying to avoid self-sabotaging, right? Trying to avoid pulling somebody into something and feeling like your inability to I guess make that final decision makes you feel like you owe them, rather than you owe yourself, right?
Because I feel I feel like if I go over there and spend these hours with you and don't have sex, you feel like, oh, I could have just went and did this, and maybe it's not them.
Yeah, I want to say sometimes it's just you. Yeah, it's just your anxiety of making you feel that way.
Like, it may just be me, and I don't know if that correlates to the situation, but that's how I feel. And as far as that, I think about a lot of stuff. I think about, I have a real strong thought process of why was I triggered? Why was I preyed upon? Because I feel like all the times that you said, "Oh, let's go, let's take her, come on, let's go with us," it was in preparation to make me comfortable with you, which it was, and then to that to happen. It makes me think, what did I give off that made me feel like a victim? That made me be a victim. I think one of the cats gonna drop something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, is that they will do that because they can recognize that it's easier, not that you were giving off that you're a victim, but that the more that they, like you said, get you comfortable, make you feel like they're okay, that makes you the victim, not that you were giving that off, but that they just set the trap and there was nothing that you were doing to offset that. Let's say, for instance, you have a child that a person says, "Oh, I can watch them for you," and the kid is like, "Nope, I don't want to be with this person. I'm done. I don't want to stay here." And they can automatically recognize, okay, this kid is going to be problematic. They're not going to conform. They're not going to get in line and do what I told them to do and that kind of thing. And it may not even be a grooming situation. Just maybe I just want to help you out, and I don't mind your kid, that kind of thing. Yeah. But it's the fact that the kid will put up the walls and because you, like you said, you got comfortable, you felt like you could trust them, and they use that trust against you. They make you the victim. You're not a victim. You're not, you're not giving off that you're a victim. You're not, and that's the one thing, and I think we have to also recognize it to deter that feeling that people feel like that they were doing something, either giving off a signal, doing something improper, or feeling like they were not strong enough or not smart enough or not, like they're inadequate. We have to deter that feeling and say, look, it's not you, it's the predator. The predator is to blame, not you, the victim. You're not to blame. Don't blame yourself. Don't feel like you set yourself up. You befell the using of your trust against you. That's not your fault.
Yeah. And then I want to caveat to not just talking about sexual abuse, talking about abuse, period, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So mentally abused and physically abused, because now I've experienced both, right? So even that has affected my life. Mentally abused, as I'm at a point of a state of, and that's why we talked about this on the podcast too, of me being in a state of, I don't want to argue because I know it's going to, my mentality even currently is damned if I do, damned if I don't. Whether I argue with you or I don't argue with you, I'm the problem. I'm always the issue. Even if I'm trying to defend myself in the argument, I'm the bad guy in the situation, no matter how it looks. So I am and I said this to me and my cousin T, who was on here in the comments. We had a conversation, and I said I always feel like I'm in defense mode of myself, and I'm at this point where I'm no longer defending myself. I've learned at a very young age that nobody gives a fuck about my feelings. Period. Learn that, right? And that's a sad thing to say, because when everybody wants you to understand their feelings, but nobody gives a fuck about yours. They want you to say, well, I feel this, that, and third. And it's like, well, I feel this way. And it's like a competition. Like, it's like, no. And I'm a big advocate of, I can't tell you how to feel. You shouldn't be able to tell me how to feel. But I'm in a state of, my feelings don't matter, and that my feelings are probably wrong, right? That's this pattern I've been in, which I think made me susceptible to being, as an adult, mentally abused in my relationships and even some friendships. I'm at this point where, like I said, plenty of times, I'm at a point where I feel like this is why I took the sabbatical of dating and stuff like that. And that's why I said to you on the podcast, I said, fuck picking the right person to date. I need to start picking the right friends. That's where I'm at, because I feel like nobody can be trusted. Everybody, anything I say can and will be used against me in the court of whatever law. And I'm just wrong on everything, no matter how I feel about things. If something upsets me, or was she just being her, never really trying to get to the meat and potatoes of why I feel the way I feel, and let's working through it. It's just like, no, this is how I feel. You're wrong, and nobody cares how you feel. Type of situation. That affects me in every life, because when I argue with people, I don't really tell them what they did wrong to me. It's usually them yelling about how I've wronged them in the most wrongest ways. They go down a list of how I'm not an ancient person, and I just sit there and let them do it. Not once saying, or very rarely saying, this is what you did, this is how I feel about stuff that you have done. I don't do that. You don't want to be my friend? Okay. Because you did blah, blah, blah. Okay. And it's not even a tit for tat. It's acknowledging so we can fix, but me trying to get both of us to be held, because I can be held accountable for the shit I did wrong, right? Right. You won't be held accountable for yours. So when we get to that point, I'm done with the whole conversation. Even if I'm, like I said, and that's on the generous note of me trying to get my perspective, because at this point, I don't even do it. It's pointless to me. Mm-hmm. And I feel defeated at that point. And it gives me anxiety, because I feel like I'm walking the eggshells to try to avoid arguments. So if you hurt my feelings and I shut down and, withdraw from the situation completely, like step away from the situation, or just shut down and just be like let you berate me or whatever, I'm being childish because I'm not giving feedback. So it's like I'm wrong either way. Even through the little domestic violence situation I had, the blame was on me of why it happened. Like I was supposed to understand why. Like you have, like it was basically, well, if you hadn't done this, this wouldn't have happened. It's not that I did anything wrong, but that was the synopsis. Even, right. even with outsiders and certain friends and family, it was like, even though if we can sit there and have the conversation about what happened, somehow it was like, well, you should have did this. There was no inkling that this was like, it's not like for me, it was like, I wasn't like an abuse situation where I knew that it was going to happen. Like, you know how guys get to the point where they start doing like slight microaggressions. It was completely caught out of left field. Like it was something that I wasn't even expecting from this person. And it was like, well, you should have did this differently. Like I didn't do anything. Like I just, I literally did the normal stuff that happened between us, and shit went left. And that's just the bulk of it. So for me, it's like, for my life now, at this point, everybody's like, well, why are you, this is why people ask me, well, why are you like this? Why are you like that? Like I've shut down completely because to even express myself was the problem, because I've been told that outside people are looking at other people to try to figure out what's going on with me versus coming to me. So I shouldn't do X, Y, Z because now people are looking at them and it's like, what? Like I'm going through stuff. I can't talk to you because you're weaponizing what I went through. So I'm internalizing, and you want to know why I'm all over the place with my emotions, or why I'm this way, and why I don't say nothing, and why I don't do this. And it's like, I don't say nothing because it's going to be, either way, it's going to be a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, Tia says she shuts down and she isolates herself. So,
and that's what I've been doing. And I know it's unhealthy. That's why I said I was looking for a therapist, because I feel like that's probably the safest place I could go. But I say even that type of thing affects you relationship-wise. This is why I said I don't want to entertain new friendships. I don't want to entertain new relationships. I just want to be by myself because, and at the same time, it's like I don't want to give you the bullet so you can load the gun and shoot me with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're going to do. You don't want me to process my feelings in the manner in which I feel safe enough to process them in, because you are bothered by it. But I can't come to you because I'm going to come to you and everybody else is going to be involved in what's going on with me. And there's no real sense of safety and security in this conversation with you. It's just like you're basically like the outside looking in and being like an outsider, don't know me and judging the situation, but you're actually in it with me, so you should kind of understand, but no.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing too, is having people not just empathize, but to relate, fully. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. Not just listen, but empathize and relate and understand, because I mean, there's the problem of you feeling like you have no outlet, and then also that connection not being there because they can't relate or they don't want to, right?
Yeah, that's why I feel like for me, and I just feel like with other people, like I'm more of an empathetic person to understand. Even though I'm mean, I'm empathetic, right? I'm mean to people that deserve it. I'm not mean to people that don't deserve it, right? But I'm empathetic. So if you're going through something, Willie, and you talk to me, and I have some type of experience of what you're going through, like I not even you. I had a conversation with somebody that went through something similar like me, right? We had a conversation, and I basically said to them, like, I didn't say it in a harsh tone. We just had a real quick conversation, and I said to them, basically, everybody wanted me to step away from a situation that I felt like in the situation I was in, I had to let go of the situation because of what I went through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that caveat of going through something traumatic, being forced to let go, but you don't really want to let go, right? And I had to get to the point where I chose to let go.
Right.
And nobody could understand what I meant by that. And it's like, you guys don't want me to doing this, and I understand it.
Right.
1,000%. But I have to let go, not because I'm forced to, but because I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the need to. Like, you know how people say that you can't change somebody that don't want to be changed? You have to allow a person to change to see it in themselves. I had to go through that. And as much as I got so much heat because of it, I understood it, even though.
Well, I think it's because people don't want you to. Basically, they feel like you're abandoning friendships or relationships without cause. You know what I mean? And I think that becomes the issue, is that you're like you said, you're trying to either protect yourself or go through something where you're going through healing, or you're going through a moment of reflection, and you feel like you have to break away from these relationships or these things that are making you feel like it's not either healthy for you, or you feel like it's not going to be helpful during your transition into healing. And when you separate yourselves from these people or from these situations, they feel like that separation or that you moving away from them is without cause or without merit, and that's why they come back for you or come at you, right? And don't understand, and I think that it does take a strong person on the other end to understand that, okay, you're doing this for your greater good, for what's best for you. Now I think it becomes unhealthy when you feel like that's the only way to heal, is that all relationships have to be ended, because sometimes you have to realize that it's not in particular everybody around you all the time. Sometimes it's just about being strong enough to get through the situations that are bad for you, right? Let's say if you're a person that's physically abused or psychologically abused, and you're like, okay, I know that this particular abuser or abusers are bad for me to be around, but then dropping all relationships and just secluding yourself may not be the best answer. Being around people who do love you, who do care for you, who do empathize, or who do support and help you get out of that situation will be best, versus saying, okay, I don't want to deal with anybody.
No, but I think that's the idea. So for me, it really wasn't about shutting everybody out. Mm-hmm. It was more of,
hey, Nye,
I need to let go of the situation on my own terms. And that's the best way for me to completely move on. Because I think when you go through things, be it whatever type of relationship it is, you have to, like, when you're forced to, because of the situation, you always go back, right?
Right.
That's why people get abused, and then they go back to the person. They're like, why? Because they have to be done. They have, and then understanding that they're putting themselves in harm's way. They're putting whoever else in harm's way and stuff like that, right? So I get it from that perspective of wanting to protect. I've been on that side where I wanted my friends to leave somebody alone, and they just didn't. And I chose to be the friend to say, you know what? I'm going to be here when you decide to be done with that. I can't choose it for you. I love you. I want you to be done with it, but I need you to be done with it, because if you're not done with it, you're going to keep going back, right? And that's with friendships, relationships, and stuff like that. All types of relationships, right? So for me, I acknowledged that I needed to let go for myself. It's almost like, right. And once I got to that point, I had to figure out how it works for me, what that looked like for me. And a lot of people didn't understand where I was at in that situation, like where I was at in mindset. And it's one thing for me, I can't explain that to you. I just need to do it how I need to do it. I can't do it how you want me to do it. I can't do it how you would do it. I need to do it that works best for me. Right, and when I got to that point of letting go, I'm like done situation, done. And even with the two people, like it's two people I had to let go of. And both of them were abusive in different ways, right?
Right.
And one I still have to deal with because our situation. One I don't have to deal with at all.
Gotcha.
So it was trying to maneuver and figure out how to work that around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for one of the mistakes in particular, everybody was like trying to look at the, I don't want to look at the bright side, but like trying to figure out like how that could work. And I'm like, I got to figure out how I want it to work. It doesn't work how you want it to work. I got to make it work because that's how I need to make it work. But,
right.
And that's the thing. I think that's what I said. I'm empathetic to the point where I've had to come back to the thing. I talked to somebody about the situation they went through. And I said, well, I want you to be done with the situation, but you're obviously not done.
Right.
When you're done, that's when you know that you're done with it. Like you have to be completely done because, and I pointed out the reasons why they should be done.
Right.
I can't choose it for you. I need you to choose it for yourself. And choosing it for yourself means loving yourself more than this person or this situation.
Exactly.
And I think that people go into the mindset if it was me, I would do this. It's not you. You can't tell me how to do or move how you would move. I got to figure out, and I think a lot of people get hung up on wanting you to do. Like if I was in a relationship, Willie, and I said you need to leave her alone because she ain't a good person. You're in love and head over heels. Like, but I love her, and I need
right.
And I'm telling you as a friend, like, yo, bitch ain't shit. Like, why she ain't shit, you know?
Right.
But you got to be done with it.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at you for not being where I want you to be. Eventually you'll get there because if she really ain't shit, she gonna show you how ain't shit she is, and you go back. You know what? I'm good. I'm done with that. And that's what friendships. I had a friend that I was friends with, as I said, for years, 10+ years. People were like telling me during the course of these years, this person ain't your friend. Mm-hmm. It took for me to get to the point where, you know what? And it's funny because I'm not she said she deleted me on Facebook and everything. And I called her up and we had a conversation because we had several conversations leading up to this. And at this point, I was done with it. She said what she was just saying, went to this blame game thing. And I said, oh, so you ain't did nothing. And she's like, no, because y'all. And I said, you know what? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that happens.
You got that. I'm done. Like, because everybody had been telling me, not that they had to tell me, I can on this podcast list 3 incidents where you were not my friend. Like 1,000% not my friend. And I was your friend in spite of it. And the fact that you tell me that I was being phony from that point on, no, I got past it because I love you enough. In spite of your flaws, I loved you beyond that. And I was your friend for more years after that situation. I should have been stopped fucking with you. But because I had that unwillful, like I hate starting over. So like I forgave you for that, and I continue our friendship. Like I addressed it with you. You said what you had to say. I didn't really like it, and I told you I didn't like it, and we moved forward. Yeah. But don't get it twisted. We had some situations where people have told me that you're not my friend, and she pointed out one to me, and I said, well, why would they feel comfortable talking about me in front of you and you ain't say nothing? Like that's right. You could confirm 4 reasons why I shouldn't be your friend, but like that's like I think that's the point I'm saying is that we can't make decisions for our friends, or our family members or our loved ones. We have to let them make decisions for themselves, no matter how harmful we think they may be. You're not helping the situation by doing that. Like I've told friends, certain situations I don't fuck with, and that's what it was, and that's what it was. But I think that having that safe space to be able to get through things with friends is unconditional. Like you should be my friend unconditionally and love me and know that I may be choosing a bunch of ain't shit niggas. I need you to love me through all my ain't shit niggas, because I'm pretty sure you had ain't shit niggas and most of my male friends had ain't shit females.
Right. I want to come back to that. Let's go ahead and welcome Nye to the show. How you doing?
Oh, good.
Thanks for joining. So we were just talking about like how you like how navigating just any kind of abuse, post abuse. Navigating through how you go through the healing process, like Sunny was just talking about doing, separating yourself from certain people, certain situations, right. Like So how do you do that? How do you cope with those things?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Letting go is not my strongest asset. I don't know how to let go, and I don't set boundaries like I should. And if I do set them, I don't respect them because I let the person keep crossing and crossing. But to speak to that, I've been in a physically abusive relationship as well as an emotionally abusive relationship. And the most recent relationship was emotionally abusive. And I have to admit that sometimes you can change because you want to, and then sometimes you change because you have to. The situation was so bad between me and this toxic person that other people that I love got hurt in the process. And it took that, it shouldn't have, but it took that situation, that volatile situation, for me to be done permanently. Like, I don't do the physical stuff. So I'm, now that I've been, out of that situation, I've been having a lot of time to think. And I think that's the hardest for me is I was going to counseling about this relationship, and the counselor kept referring to the person as my abuser. And I'm like, no, he never hit me. Why she keep saying it? Like, I didn't want to come to terms with that. That relationship was very toxic, and I had a hard time with that. I kept like trying to bargain with myself, like, okay, maybe if I don't talk about this, he won't get upset. Like, I was on eggshells in this relationship. But like I said, and it's funny because, not to get spiritual, but I prayed before the last thing happened. I prayed, like, Lord, if I need to let him go, please show me a sign. And the way it ended was so explosive that I'm like, I didn't even need it to get to that point. I should have been cut it off.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you have to pray about somebody in a situation like that, you definitely, that should be your sign. Like that already should be your, you know what, maybe I need to either take a step back or walk away, because I've already recognized there's a problem. So go ahead,
but I
Naya, I'm
was
sorry.
codependent. I was codependent emotionally. He's the first guy I ever dated that was proud to be my man. Like, it wasn't like I didn't feel like I was his secret. I didn't feel like he was ashamed of me. He loved me. He was proud of me. He thought I was beautiful. All these things. I hate to say it, but all these things that I wasn't used to in a relationship. I'm used to when I date somebody. Like, I'm your friend when girls come around, but when guys come around and try to talk to me, you want to ask me why. Because you treat me like I'm your big secret, so the men think I'm single. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I had to, like, as of late with this relationship, and I've been really working on myself. Like, really, really working on myself.
That's why I said to you. That's why I said, and that's why I like, me and her had a conversation, and I said to her, "You're gonna be done when you done," because I understood it. Like I said, I understood it from my perspective. Whether it was a friendship, relationship, I had to understand my breaking point, and unfortunately, it ended the way it did. But it could have been 10 times worse, right? And then on top of that, it's that, and that's why I said, it's some people get the warnings like this, like when you're, like I said, in my situation, it was completely caught off guard. There was no warning sign leading up to, hey, this may happen. Whereas hers was like slight acts of aggression here and there. He was doing stuff that was like microaggressions leading and this continuing. Like, his was like a staircase, just keep going up and up and up, and then shit just went completely left, right? So whereas my situation, it caught me completely off guard. So like at that point, you never know. Like, and that's why I feel like, even though a situation may be toxic, you just like, and that's what I'm learning for just reflection and thinking about things. Like I said, and I'm not really going to exclude friendships, right? Because friendships are also relationships that we deal with, and we tolerate a lot of friendships because we love these people. Toxic situations, because even in that friendship that I said that I was in 10 plus years, we had gotten to a situation where she put me in a situation where I was physically wanting to put my hands on her.
Bingo.
And for me, it's like that should have been my go-to to let her go, right? Because it's very hard.
That was your sign.
Yeah, it's very hard for me. My friends know. I don't like arguing with my friends, right? I don't call it arguments. We'll have disagreements, like regular conversation disagreements. You say something and I'll shut down. Like my best friend now, she cracks me up when we have our little disagreements. It's kind of like a pause, think before you speak kind of situation. We still speak it, but we think before we speak, right? And that's, for me, healthier than where I was, because I felt like I was a kid portraying a mother or rebelling against my mom, and that's how my other friendship was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I started doing stuff differently without her knowledge and not checking in with her, it was problematic, right? To the point where we had a situation, like I said, where I wanted to put physical hands on you. Like, you made me that upset. And as friends and loved ones, I don't get that way with you. And for you to get me there, it takes a lot to get me to the point where I'm arguing with you.
Now you her abuser.
Like I basically, like, she said something. She basically said to me, "You think I'll you drunk and I'll slap you?" And I just looked at her like, "What do you think was gonna happen if you slapped me?" Like I moved stuff out the way. Like, wait a minute. So what do you think? Because I like that signals that we need to not be friends anymore, right? And even after that, I'm still with your friend. But that trigger alone for you to get me to that point, knowing being my friend for that many years prior, you should know me. So that's why I said we have to identify the toxicness in friendships and relationships.
Yeah.
I'm saying friend relationships, period, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All relationships. We need to find the toxicity in the situations and let go sooner. Because I think that we have this, and this is for me, I'm super, I want to say desperately loyal to people that have not been loyal to me. Like, I'm finding out stuff this year and in the last year about people that I consider friends. I'm still friends with, but they're at a distance because I've been given some tidbits about your character and how you low-key assassinate mine. But at the same time, you can call me and ask me for shit, and I'll move earth, moon, wind, and sunshine for you with no problem. If you want to throw shade, not that I'm that person, but like, I'm Petty Betty, or Petty White, but no, it's Petty Mills. I'm sorry, Petty Mills. But I could be petty and like same like you doing nonsense. I could be on the same wave, but that's just not me, because that's the type of loyalty. That's the type of loyalty that's the type of loyal shit I'm on. Like, we ain't gotta be friends. I don't gotta be disloyal to you. Shit, you told me you're gonna stay with me because I'm not that person. I understand that that's not the same thing with you, but I understand that that's who I am. I can't change me because you just don't fuck shit. But
here's my thing.
We have to understand the toxicity in these relationships to save ourselves these things, because I think that if we catch the toxicity at an early stage, we're better off. We're better for it, because when you let stuff fester, it can get worse. And I don't think we need to be better at cutting stuff off and not having such blind loyalty to people and letting stuff slide and just holding people accountable for the shit that they do. And that's why I think, like, within the last couple months, I just been like, oh, you, like, if something been brought to my attention, oh, you want to fuck shit? Okay, I can't fuck with you, because, like I said, I've noticed in the last couple months that a lot of my business has stayed my business because not too many people know it. Like, I barely tell anybody. Like, you get the surface shit, but you don't get the meat and potatoes and stuff, because I'm on the end of you taking information, twisting it, and turning it for your liking to have it cause problems, and I don't need that toxic drama.
Right. Go ahead now. What were you about to say?
You, like, okay, your situation, what you're explaining, I feel like you know what I'm going through. Like, I feel like, okay, I got out of this emotionally abusive relationship for whatever reason it ended. And you, a loved one, you look at it like, I'm like, okay, I'm done with that relationship, and we still not good. And to be honest, we weren't good before that relationship. So it's like, for me, it's getting to a point where I don't want to talk around this person anymore. Like my sister was saying, I don't feel the connection anymore. It's getting to a point where it's like, I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look at you, because I'm so disgusted. Because here's my thing. I know I'm sensitive and mushy and all that good stuff. But if I come to you and I wholeheartedly say to you, what have I done that wronged you? And you tell me nothing, but you give me some little vague, petty, side diss type stuff, that hurt. And when I'm talking to you and I'm saying you doing this and that and it's hurting me, that's hard to say. You hurt me. Even if it is a friend, it's hard. So I tell you to your face, you hurt me. And I feel like you're hurting from something I did, and you just shut down and we don't talk about it. I can't do it anymore. I can't pretend like I always say, if you keep treating me like I'm invisible, don't be surprised when I disappear. I done got to a point where now it's like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't have nothing to do with you, because you're not willing to be accountable for your part you played in this toxic relationship. because toxic friendship. I'm sorry, because just like I've done wrong, you've done wrong, but I can admit I'm willing to come to you all transparent, wounds open, all that, to talk to you because I really want to make it work. We've been friends forever. I'm never gonna be able to get rid of you because my fam love you. So it's like, why can't you just say, you know what, nah, you did this or you did that? And I just feel hurt and I feel alienated. And I had to say something. And I was like, just see her reaction. And when her reaction was nonchalant and she could care less, I knew what I had to do. And it hurts me to my core because I don't have friends. I have family. I don't have friends. We're family. And like Red said, I'm sorry, Sonny said, I don't get physical altercations with family or friends. I don't do it. Like if I get to a point where I want to smack fire out of you, it's time for me to get away from you.
Yeah.
Period. Because I never want to put hands on and hurt somebody physically just because I'm mad.
Because I know when I black out, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you and be like, oh man, we can't be friends.
But my thing is, if I could tell you I'm hurt and you take the opportunity to dig at me, like y'all, I was so mad. We were over the phone. I was so upset. I was so hurt that she was so dismissive. I was like, I'm glad we're not in person because I would have flipped out because I'm hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. So we're about to wrap this show up. I just want to get final thoughts on past abuse, whether it's physical, mental, or sexual abuse affecting your life. What is your thoughts? Like final thoughts? Willie, I'm gonna let you go first because me and I just got finished talking.
No worries. So yeah, I mean, basically, I feel like we have to recognize our triggers, recognize the abuse first. Like Nia was saying earlier, I think Tia mentioned in the comments. It's hard to recognize abuse when you're in love, or abuse when it's family, or abuse when you just don't know better. So recognize the abuse first. And then realize you're not to blame. The victim is not to blame. Your actions, your personality, your clothing, your choice to go, walking in the middle of the night, whatever the case may be, you decide to spend the night with your cousins. That's not your fault that you were abused or that you were treated a certain way. That because you have such love for a person that you have such love for a person that they take advantage of your naivety or your trust, and that's not your fault. Just recognize that.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm about to say you might as well end it off. So my thing is so much I want to say. My thing is with abuse, you have to heal yourself, whether it's emotional, whatever kind of abuse it was, you have to heal yourself. I'm now at 40 something, becoming okay with intimacy. And I'm not talking about physical, I'm talking about mental. I'm letting my guard down and learning to connect with people on a different level. But because I was abused, I have trust issues. And I think all men that approach me, I know it's not true. It's just physical. So I feel like more like
you missed the first half, Willie. What we were talking about.
you gotta work on yourself. Like people say that, and people are like, all right, I will. No, but you really have to, because you're gonna keep taking the abuse. And the thing that when I turned 40, I said I want to finally in my life really truly enjoy being intimate with someone. And I said, but because of my past, I let that block me. So that's why I say when you've been abused, you have to deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, it's going to come up. In every relationship, whether it's sexual or friendship, it's going to come up. And I had to learn that the secrets that I keep, I had to be careful because I be guarding some dangerous secrets that could harm me, but because I don't want to hurt nobody else's feelings and reveal this person did this to me or abused me in that way. I'm protecting their image, but I'm crushing mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'll find
exactly.
that.
So I'm gonna give my final thought and my goal for myself.
Okay.
My goal for myself is, like you said, to be comfortable with the person that I choose to be intimate with going forward. And not when I choose to, I want that I'm going to hopefully pick a person that's not making me feel or having me feel used and like just a piece of property or something to be used and be done with. I want the full experience of relationship vibes, all that. I want all of that. Like I want the true and authentic relationship thing. We're going out, we're going to have fun, we're spending time together. I don't feel the obligation to let's fuck type of vibe. My final thought is I think empathy is a big thing. I think accountability is another thing. And understanding that even though you are a victim, you can be a survivor. And therapy, like Tia said, therapy has helped me understand and express my feelings. I am, and it's funny, I got a therapist number. I have not called her. I had it for about a couple months now. I think I'm more scared of therapy because then that's me facing my life and understanding what it is. Even though I can talk to people about it, I think therapy does help people. And I also think understanding where you're at and not saying what you think everybody wants to hear. I've been, for the past couple weeks, been very direct and honest with people. Like, oh, you have needs. I don't want to be bothered. Like, very simple. I got a lot of needs, but unfortunately, that doesn't help me as far as long. But understanding where you are and accepting where you are and being honest about where you are is a big thing. I'm in a state of healing, so I definitely need to work on me. And I'm not worried about you people. And that's just it. Like, for the people that I do talk to during a daily basis or do my daily weekly routine of life, I talk to y'all because I fuck with y'all that heavy. But for everybody else, I'm not engaged with you people because I'm trying to find a healthier me. I'm tired of the toxicity. I've identified it. I don't want it in my life. And I wholeheartedly want to be drama free. A lot of people say that and don't mean it. I don't want none of that shit. I don't want no toxicity. If it ain't good vibes, get the hell away from me. Like, I will, you don't gotta get away from me, I'll get away from you. Like, because if I feel it, I'm out. I'm just not trying to be a part of it. And I'll take myself out of a lot of situations because I feel like it's not healthy for me. So if that's me being toxic to you, then I'm sorry. I'm being, selfishness is important to me right now. And that's the thing. Sometimes you have to be selfish to make sure you're mentally and physically okay. And my mentality and my health are two big things right now. And keep it a buck, fuck y'all. I'm worried about me.
Yeah, you gotta protect yourself. You gotta protect yourself.
I'm trying to be here for my kids, and worrying about y'all feelings ain't got shit to do with me. So
I just want to call out Tia's last few comments. She said that therapy is helping her to understand and express her feelings. And she was commenting on your statement saying that, gotta call them, you have to face it, to get over it. And she said she's almost 40 and still learning to love herself. And I mean, I was in the same situation there. I mean, I was in my late 30s, early 40s, still trying to figure out, who I am, what makes me happy, and all that.
We so quick to love somebody else more than we love ourselves. Like, that's the fucking crazy part.
Yeah.
We will love a motherfucker that's toxic as hell more than we love ourselves. Like, I'm about to make a shirt called "Love Yourself."
But here's the thing: these people. One, watch how we talk to ourselves, and be quick to encourage and slow to criticize ourselves. I wrote a poem recently. Don't tell me how to talk to my friend, and it was all these. I was saying in the poem about things that I would never say to you, but I would say hurtful things to myself. And like judge myself harsh. I said, you gotta watch how you talk to yourself, because that's damaging.
That's facts.
That's more damaging than anyone else.
That's facts. That's facts. All right, guys, we about to close out the show. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope this show helped somebody in some way. And if you want to drop comments after the show, you can drop them in the comment section. Like, follow, subscribe, all of that on all our social media platforms. Nye, where can they find you?
Koi Magazine on Instagram.
All right.
Willie?
It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG, Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Find me over at gamingwithstyles.com or stylesradio.com or williestyles.info for all my links.
And you already know it's your girl Sunny. I am Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Also TikTok, or you can catch me on my blog. I said blog. I think that Jack and Coke is kicking in. But my blog at unreservedlyme.com. Love you too, cuz. I can't wait till you come pop up and visit me again. But she can't spend the night, and I had all these cats, so she had to take some medicine.
Oh no.
Me and her talked the entire night. It was dope as hell. I love the fuck out of that. I love the fuck out of my cousin. I swear I do. But thank y'all for watching tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. I gotta
come and visit again. Gotta get back to Jersey. Come see y'all.
Yes, you do gotta come visit. And you know what? You could just come. We ain't gotta have a function. You can just come, and we will find something to do. Hopefully, I'll try to get you to come. Matter of fact, if we know in advance when you want to come, I'll find out what time Zay is going to his program. You can come that weekend, and that way Saturday I'll be free all day until the nighttime. But nighttime we could just still. I could tell Tia to come. We could all come. We could play spades. We could just chill. Like it'd be real low key. It won't be like the party like my birthday, but it would be.
Hey, that works too.
People coming to hang out with Willie.
Exactly. All right, sounds good.
Thank y'all for watching tonight. I appreciate all my listeners and viewers. We got dope content coming next month for the Sex with Sunny. So come and enjoy us. All right, guys. No spades. You can't play, Tia. I forgot she can't play. She's fired. Clint know how to play. We'll tell Clint to bring somebody. So we can good. Like y'all can play Uno. I got 2 tables, 3 tables. Y'all can play Uno.
I know, right? Sure. Uno for sure, definitely.
I think I still got my dominoes too. So we good. We over here like Latinos. We got dominoes, Uno, and space. We can get it done. Just a small little low-key function for us, for the GFT radio crew. But thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all 2 Fridays a month.